D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished the latest episode of Doom Patrol, episode number 10. And I just want to say this episode was really good. I enjoyed this episode thoroughly. I thought it had a lot of good moments as far as the character goes, especially Rita, because she's my favorite. And then also, action sequences wise, they weren't like very huge superhero-y, but they were good, and I appreciate, I always appreciate when this show spends the money on visual effects. Sometimes I don't think that they I wish they would do it differently so it was cheaper, so that way we could have more of it. And I'll get to it I'll talk about when we get to it. But and there was one visual effects part that happened with Rita that I was really happy about, and I hope they keep doing it because it's very comic book accurate. Now, granted, I don't know a whole bunch about the Doom Patrol comic book wise. I have bought in some single ones. I ordered the omnibus one from Amazon, so it should be coming soon, and hopefully I can read that soon so I can get to know these characters more. If not, then I'll read it in between season 3 and 4 because we're getting a season 4. But before I get started on this, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, they always get pushed to the back of the line, and it sucks. So I ask that you please like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. Also, do this with any other small YouTuber. They'll really appreciate it, and it helps them out and everything. So, help us little guys out. Okay, in saying that, let's get started on this breakdown and let's talk about this. So if you remember from the last episode, it ended with them getting into a car crash or a bus crash because Jane, Kay inside Jane, she screamed and it sent out that shockwave and it flipped the bus over. So it starts off with Rita laying here and her arm is super stretched out. And she pulls it in and she gets up and everything, and everybody gets out of the bus. And the worm has got a big cut in it and everything. So she's sitting here and she's trying to rally him back up. I don't remember exactly what she says, but something like, this is what happens when we fall down. We get back up and we, jump back on that horse kind of thing. And they kind of attack her for it, not like hardcore, but they're all like, I think it's Vic that says that. He's like, are you seriously trying to rally us back up and get us to go fight or whatnot and everything? He's like, our bus is, totaled. The worm is hurt. Jane's, knocked out. I don't have superpowers kind of thing. And then we go inside Jane and she sees that the tunnel into the underground has been blocked off. And she sees it and she tries to move some stuff and she sees these rocks and she picks them up and they kind of crumble. And then she wakes up. And then she's like, see, Jane's all right and everything. And, and granted, and because Rita just wants her revenge. And I like this, this story arc that they're doing with Rita this season, like how she was, unsure of herself as a leader. And then she went to, going to the past and being happy, finding love and all that stuff, getting it taken away. And now she's on a revenge path. And then we'll see her redemption in just a second. But I really do like it. I love Rita. She's and this outfit she's wearing, the yellow with the blue, it's so great. She's great. So they're sitting there, and the fog rolls in, that character, the fog from the Sisterhood of Dada. And she's and they're like, oh, and Larry's all like, I thought we were done with these people kind of thing. She comes in and she's all like, what do you want? Your great flagellation wasn't, it didn't do anything. And she's like, you don't know that kind of thing. And she's all like, I want to, and I'm paraphrasing all of this because I don't remember exactly everything they say. And please don't get mad at me because I don't remember everything they say. I know some of it's important, but I don't write it down as I'm watching the episode. But she says something along the lines of, you don't know that Madame Rouge might still be able to save. And she's like, I think she says, come here, I want to show you something. I can't remember off the top of my head. So then back in the woods, this gorilla, what is his name? It starts with an M. Malfoy. I don't remember. Anyways, I'm not too familiar with the Brotherhood of Evil. I mean, I know them, but I don't know them. But anyway, so he was gonna push Madame Rouge over this little cliff and everything. She wakes up and she's like, what are you doing? And everything. He's all like, this is where we dispose of all of the junk we don't want anymore, kind of thing, the Brotherhood of Evil. And he's like, I've stood by the brain for so long, but he's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm just done, because I thought we could go to a life of normalcy, even though he's a big talking gorilla, but he's like, I'm just done. So he leaves Cliff's brain and Madame Rouge on this side of the cliff, and he just leaves. So she's sitting there and she knocks Cliff's brain down this little slope / cliff, which I was all like, oh, cliff. But I was all like, man, if that broke, I mean, his brain can't. I mean, it's not surviving right now, but it's the show. It's fine. It's totally cool. That's how they. But then it goes to the bottom of this little ravine, and it's that giant robot, which I was like, ooh, and everything. And I was like, oh, they're gonna put Robotman inside the big robot and everything. So back in the fog is showing Jane. Jane sees her other personalities inside the fog, but then the worm starts acting up, and the Asian woman, I don't remember the personality's name, and please don't DM me the names, just leave them in the comments. Gosh, there's one person, they always DM me on Twitter, and I'm all like, okay, I got it. But so she's like, I can understand any language, and she's like, it wants to join with you, Larry, because, and he's like, I can't. And she's like, well, then it'll die. And then, so then Hammerhead and Jane, they go off, but then back at the little resort where the brain has taken over Robotman's body, he gets in this golf cart and he's driving along, and the big robot is coming down the pike and everything, which I loved this part. And he's driving, and Madame Rouge is driving with Cliff's brain inside the brain's old body from way back when. So then he's chasing him, and he's like, I'm the brain. I deserve better than this. And then he crushes him. And I was like, that's funny. And then he's like, did you just crush my body? And everything. I thought that was funny too. And then she's all like, something like, he did deserve it and everything. So then back in the fog, they go back to this candy shop that we saw in episode 5. And the personalities are dying. They're crumbling away. And so she's like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know, but we left and everything. And she's like, I'm sorry, I was scared and everything. And she looks at her hand, and her hand is crumbling like it's concrete, but it's crumbling concrete. And so she's sitting there, and then Doctor, man, I was gonna remember, so that way this personality comes in, and she's basically like, oh, we'll get into that in a minute because we'll come back to this, but she's like, what are you guys doing, kind of thing. So then the robot, they do this map thing right here, and they do like tweets and stuff. And I thought this was kind of funny, but it's just going from Florida to Virginia. And it's just like, it's walking through this stuff, but people are tweeting and everything. I thought that was funny. And then finally, because she was all like, we're going back to the Doom Manor where I can take out Rita. I think she says take out Rita. Anyways, so then he's all like, just stop. And he stops the robot. So he's able to control it, kind of thing. So she's all like, you're going to go back going and everything. He's like, no, I'm not. And she goes to smash his brain. And he's like, don't do it, kind of thing. And then she goes to leave, and he's all like, listen, we should celebrate because you didn't do it. So that means you're worth saving. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember exactly what he says, but he says it's a good thing that she didn't kill him. And it is. It's a good thing. Plus, it wouldn't be a show without Robotman. He's my second favorite. He makes me laugh the most. Anyways, so he's just sitting there and he's all like, do. So he starts walking. So then back in the fog, they're all like, you need to join with the worm now. So he's like, all right, fine. But the worm can't join the negative energy inside the worm. It can't join with him because of his bandages, and he can't take the bandages off. So he's like, we need to get back to the mansion where I have my room, and it's radiation protected. So then you can, and he can't do it because, anyways, because of the radiation of his body. But he's like, when we get back to that room, I can let him in then because I can take my bandages off. And so Vic's like, fine, I'll let him come into my body until we get back to the mansion. So then Rita makes it to Florida, and Robotman Brain, the brain, is sitting there, and she goes to help him. And then Madame Rouge goes back to the little loft that they use for their little Sisterhood of Dada parties. And she's sitting here, and I liked this moment too. I thought it was very touching because she opens up this record player and she starts playing music, and then she starts right here. She starts doing that thing that Rita did in episode 8 or 9, where she's like, "Look at me, don't look at me, look at me, don't look at me." And I thought, and then she starts also doing her dance, and I thought it was touching, and it was a good moment for her. But then she looks over and she sees this door. So she goes over and she's like, "This is new." She opens it up and she finds her time machine. It's like, "Rita, you little vixen, you." That's not what she says, but I can't remember exactly what she says. So she gets in, and the voiceover goes in, and she's like, she didn't know where she was going. She's like, "And I don't care anywhere but here," and everything. And we'll find out where she goes, because I don't remember anything else that was said in this moment. So then back at the candy shop, she is talking to this psychiatrist personality. I'm going to, one of the, for the season finale, I'm going to write this down because they're going to come up again. And I don't want you guys to DM me anymore. Just comment. Anyways, so basically she's like, we're protecting ourselves because, we don't want Kay to get rid of us. And she's like, without Kay, there is no us. She created us. So we have to go back to her body or you're going to die. And she sees her, she's crumbling too. So she's all like, what is it going to take? Sorry, I had a hang now. What is it going to take for you to go back to Jane, or to back to Kay's, the girl's body, Kay? And they strike up a deal. And we find out what deal they struck up. So then, this is the part where he's trying to get into his body. Sorry, I jumped forward a little bit. So he takes on the worm Vic takes on the worm into himself, and his eyes go blue and everything. I appreciate the money spent on the visual effects of this episode. Like, I appreciate it, even though the robot looks fake and everything, the giant one. I liked it. So I really appreciate it. So then Robotman's daughter, Larry's daughter, or Cliff's daughter, not Larry's daughter, Cliff's daughter, she comes home, and the big giant robot's sitting in her front yard. And she's like, your dad's here and everything. And she's like, "Dad," and everything. And so he goes into how he was a crappy father then, he's a crappy father now, but he's had his 11th second chance, and he wants to do right and everything. And she's like, "We need to fix your meds because we can't fix you unless you're healthy. You need to get better health wise before we can fix you." And everything. And I just want to say real quick about Larry. Oh gosh, I keep calling him Larry. Cliff's storyline is, I don't like this trope in Hollywood that they keep doing over and over again about the bad father trope. I'm a dad, and I think I'm a good dad. I play with my kids. We hang out. I do, there's school, my daughter's schoolwork and everything. We do it with my son too, because you can never get too much learning. You can never learn too much. But I don't like this trope, and I get why they're doing it, but I just feel like Cliff is eventually got to stop beating himself up for the past, and he's got to be like, yeah, I was a crappy dad, but I'm going to move on and everything. And I thought that's what the Great Flagellation was for. So I'm really hoping that Hollywood in general stops the bad dad trope. Like, I really don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm sorry. If you're a dad out there, there are bad dads, but I mean, like, does every dad have to be bad? Don't make me name the ones, because I got a list of them. I'm like, ugh. So then she's all like, okay, we can work this thing out, and I'll look at that. And you can tell she loves her dad, and she wants a relationship with him and everything. Who doesn't want a relationship with their dad? So he walks off because the cops are coming. And so then Malala, is that what that says? Malala. Yeah. The ape, the gorilla leaves him a note saying, "Hey, I took all the stuff that, is connected between me and you. I'm done." I'm paraphrasing. So she's making tea. And a long story short, he's all like, "You help me and we'll work together," kind of thing, to get revenge on Madame Rouge. So she basically is all like, me and Madame Rouge are a lot of the same in some places, but we're not alike in some places. And so she reveals his brain, but then she's all like, I can't remember exactly what she says again, but she's like, I'm going to embrace my full dark side starting now. And she dumps that hot water right on his brain, AKA killing him. And if that doesn't kill him, he is hardcore damage, which I wish they wouldn't have done that, because I don't like it when they kill off villains, because they could always bring him back and everything. I mean, they could bring him back and just say he's severely damaged. Like Malala could come back. I hope that's his name, because I sound so dumb saying it all the whole time. But then Malala could come back and be like, I need to nurse him back to health, kind of thing. So then the fog brings back Larry and Vic. And then I can't remember what they say exactly right here, but the fog is basically like, if you want, you can come searching for me later, like AKA lesbo action, which I'm fine with. She's all smiling like, yeah, I'm gonna get me some of that. I'm gonna give me some of that box and everything. So then the personalities are back into the girl, Kay's body. And I don't remember this personality's name either. Man, she's all like, oh, it's my time to shine. She's like, all right, bitches, let's move these rocks starting from the top to the bottom. And then she's all like, you better keep your end of the bargain. So they make it back to Vic and Larry make it back to the radiation room, and he releases the negativerse, and it's like a baby. It's like a little negative baby. It's so, and I don't, and it's like a little baby negative force or whatever. Look how cute it is. It's so cute. It's like cute, but creepy, and then I can't remember what Larry says, but he says something like, I'm going to do right by you kind of thing. So he goes into him, and then they're fixing it up, and Hammerhead, she says something about how she's being a little bitch or something like that. I can't remember or whatnot. Or she said that in the fog about her being a little bitch or whatnot. And then she's like, what did you do to get all of us to come back, to get her to get us come back here? And she's like, what does she want? And she's like, power. She's all like, you gave up primary. She's like, listen, right now we need to worry about the girl. As long as she's safe, I'm okay with whatever, She's like, all right. She's like, go up a top, because that's where we need you right now. So she goes up top, and Madame Rouge shows up in front of the mansion, and she reads her note, says she's a bad person, explains who everybody is, and then the robot shows up, the giant robot, and he passes them, and he's like, sorry, I can't stop, kind of thing. And Jane teleports into her, because the I think those vinyls were the 80s girl or whatnot. Don't quote me on that. So she teleports in there, and he's like, I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to do the controls. So she starts pushing buttons. Oh, and the negative man comes out, and he's all glowing. He doesn't have like the negative force come out of him. He's glowing, which I loved it. I was like, this is so good. And he's all like, Vic's all like, Larry or negative force, whatever you are, we need you to stop the robot. So he goes and flies, but he like unglows and falls. And I was like, oh, that's so funny, but so Doom Patrol. And then she's all like, you should help the Doom Patrol, because, even though you're a bad person, you can still be a good person, kind of thing. And then she goes to help, but then she gets choked out by Rita. She comes back, and she's all like, I'm not letting you go anywhere. And then, so she's trying to stop. And then she's like, no, don't read your note. Look into my eyes and you remember. So she looks into her eyes, and she remembers all the bad stuff she did. And she's like, I know I ruined your life, but is this really what Malcolm would have wanted for you? And she's all like, well, I guess we won't know, will we? Because you ruined it, and you had, it's your fault he's dead, kind of thing. And she's like, listen, I know I've done bad things. And she's like, but what? And she's like, but I'm not worth it. And she's basically saying, I'm not worth you killing somebody over, and you go into, going full dark side kind of thing. Never go full Vader. So then she's inside, and she's set off the self-destruct mode. So then they're joking around about where they're going to explode at. And then they go to this baseball game, and he's like, giant robot. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. And then Vic is chasing up after him. And then all of a sudden they get like stopped real quick. And it's because Rita is giant. Now in the comic books, that's what Elastigirl's powers are. She just becomes really, really big, like Ant-Man / Giant Man in Marvel. She just becomes really, really big. And I can see why they haven't done it on the show. But at the same time, I just go, I know the robot is not a real robot. It's CGI robot. But in all honesty, him just walking like that, you could have made like a fake robot and just had her and maybe that part's real right there. I don't know. But that's obviously the real Rita, and they just put her on green screen. And I'm all like, I honestly feel like that would be cheaper than making her stretchy like they do. Like just making her grow is I personally feel like is way cheaper, but I don't know. So don't get all mad if it's not. Okay. I'm just saying, like, I love seeing her giant like this. And I just feel like this is cheaper visual effects wise. And that robot, you could totally make a robot and just, film it with her and everything. So then this one talks about how there's a misfit band of superheroes that save the town. And she's like, are we misfits? And she's like, well, we don't need to be misfits. And even if we are, we make our own path. I'm paraphrasing again. We make our own path. So do we want to be superheroes, but our own kind of superheroes? And everybody's like, yeah. And Robotman's like, yeah. And everything. And she's like, I'd like to too, if you have me. And I like Robotman. He's coming in there. He's pretty funny. I love that he's a giant robot right now. That's so funny. I hope he goes back to his normal body, which they will, because the brain told Rita earlier that he has the schematics, but it's mixed with magic. And I'm like, I wonder if they're going to be able to do that. I don't know. We'll see. So then they get a breaking alert, and this giant thing has popped up out of the Suez Canal, and they're like, what is that? It's like, it's a giant nut sack. So then and they're like, are we gonna go defeat it? And they're like, yeah, let's go defeat it, kind of thing. And then she collapses and she goes inside, and inside is the psychiatrist personnel, and she's all like, all right. She's like, where's the girl? Is she okay? And she's like, we'll get to that, but first you need to keep your end of the bargain. So she sits down, and there's no definite right there, but so they're sitting there, and they figured out how they're going to get there in time to the Suez Canal before that monster kills everybody, kind of thing. And my favorite line is when Cliff is all like, let's go kick that nutsack in the balls. I was like, that's funny. So they're sitting there, and so what they're going to do here is they're sitting here talking, and they're obviously using the time machine, which we'll see in just a second, but they're labeling everybody with their name. And they write down the mission on that big piece of white paper right there, because they need to know what they're doing in case they lose their memory. And Rita's inside the time machine, and she's like, we're going to jump to the future, 3 minutes into the future. And then she sets all of her stuff. The big robot picks up the time machine and then puts it into the earth. And then he rides the time machine, and they ride the robot, or they are inside the robot, and they ride it all the way down to the Suez Canal. And that's where the episode ends. And like I said, I really liked this episode. I thought it was good, really good. Like I said, I appreciated the visual effects that they put into it. I loved Rita's story arc with her, her, like I said, so far this whole season, up to this point, with her not being sure of herself as far as leadership goes, with her then going back to the past and finding love and making a life for herself, then losing it, then her revenge story, then her redemption arc, I guess, for this part. It's just been great, Rita. I love Rita so much. She's such a great character, and I love seeing her growth. The only thing negative I have to say is just really just the bad father trope. And I know that's like an overarching thing with everything, but it just really bums me out. And I don't know. I just hate it. Well, I don't hate it. I feel like that's every movie now. It's just like, if you're a dad in a movie, you're a bad dad. So I wish they would stop doing it in everything. So that is my breakdown and review of this episode. Again, it was really good. I hope you guys liked it. And then you can tell me, did you like it? Did you not like it? Who are all the personalities? Go ahead, send me the DMs. I get it. Let's have this conversation and everything. Yeah, go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my Doom Patrol breakdown and review. You guys have a good week. Bye.